Welcome to the Business Finance Bulletin, episode 127. Again to this week's Business Finance Bulletin with me, Rob Warlow from Business Loan Services. In this week's bulletin, news from Funding Circle of new monies coming in order to help them support even more small businesses, the asset finance world, what they've been up to in terms of money lent, and also look at working capital, what you can do to better manage your working capital position to boost your cash. Let's start this week's bulletin with news from crowdfunding platform Funding Circle. They've just come out with the news that they've obtained support from the European Investment Bank up to the tune of £100 million. Now, the EIB, the European Investment Bank, will be lending that money through Funding Circle's platform to support UK small businesses who are in need of finance. Now, that 100 million is also going to be lent alongside Funding Circle's own SME income fund up to £25 million. Now, this loan facility from the EIB is there for 7 years, and as money is repaid from that 100 million that's invested, it'll be reinvested back into loans. So they anticipate that over the 7-year period of this facility, about £200 million worth of loans will be supported. A Funding Circle been established since 2010 and currently have matched up to £1.3 billion worth of loans to approximately 16,000 businesses. There are about 50,000 private investors on the site, so it's a great place if you want a very speedy and quick decision on a loan application. You can borrow anything from £5,000 up to £1 million, but up to £250,000 is on an unsecured basis. Anything more than that, you'll need tangible security. It's a very fast and efficient platform and has proved to be very successful for those businesses looking for additional working capital. But if you want to know how you can take part in that £100 million, which is now going to be released through Funding Circle, just go along to their website, which is fundingcircle.com. Alternatively, if you want a hand, we can help you. Just drop us a line, info@businessloanservices.co.uk, and we'll help you guide through the process. Turning now to asset finance. Now, asset finance, as I've mentioned in previous bulletins, is an increasingly popular alternative source of finance for many small businesses. Well, that has further been borne out by the latest statistics released by the Asset-Based Finance Association, which is the umbrella organisation for many asset finance providers. First of all, asset finance, well, that covers invoice discounting, factoring, HP and leasing. And the latest figures as at Q1 2016 show that the total amount outstanding, according to the Asset-Based Finance Association, is £19.3 billion. And that's an increase of 2% on the previous quarter. But the main bit of news that comes out of this is the amount of money being borrowed by small businesses. Now, small businesses are defined as those businesses turning over less than £500,000 a year. And in total, there are now £784 million worth of facilities. And that's a 14% increase on Q4 2015. And compared to Q1 2015, it's a 43% increase. Now, that's a huge jump for small businesses who are now using asset finance. And you can see just how popular it is. So if you want to know more about asset finance, you can go along to the Asset-Based Finance Association website, which is abfa.org.uk, and there you can learn more about the industry generally and also be pointed out to a number of providers as well. It really is a great way to bypass banks and get facilities to purchase assets and release cash through invoice discounting. As we know, cash flow is vital to every business. Without it, your business just doesn't work. Now, obviously, many businesses will go and replenish cash reserves via facilities from banks and other alternative lenders. But one alternative is to find cash already hidden within your business. Well, this is a finding from the tax and audit and consultancy firm RSM, who've discovered that firms can boost their cash flow by better management of working capital, and that is but primarily funds tied up in stock. Now, RSM have found that on a survey they recently did, up to 6% of your turnover can be converted back into cash by better management of your stock. And they estimate, particularly for manufacturing firms, that 6% globally can turn into an extra £400 million worth of free cash to fund growth. So what do RSM say that you should be doing? Well, it's down to better systems and processes and really getting into the nuts and bolts of your business to make sure that you understand where your systems are weak and what you can do to improve efficiencies in order to turn around your stock faster. In other words, to make sure that stock doesn't sit on the shelves for too long when that cash should be in your bank account. Now, I did a recent video on this, which I went through a very useful ratio that you can use called the stock turnover ratio. So I put a link to the video here and also a link in the description box below and on my blog. Have a look at that video because it gives you a useful calculation that you can use that can spot where cash is being tied up for far too long in stock. So take heed there from RSM to make sure you better manage your working capital position, to make sure you don't have stock tied up in unnecessary items. Well, that's it for this bulletin, and as ever, I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please give it a like and share it amongst your colleagues. Don't forget, if you're watching on the video version, we have the podcast, which is available on SoundCloud, iTunes and Stitcher. Just go along to those channels and search for Business Finance Bulletin. And if you are listening on the podcast version, pop along to my YouTube channel, which is Rob Warlow, and there you'll find this episode and all past episodes. So that's it for this week. Thanks very much for being with me. I look forward to being with you again next time. Have a great, successful and profitable week. Bye-bye now.